One day you'll see. Tonight, not tonight. Really broke, still living off Medicaid. Live my life, don't art, don't get involved. Don't ask me when the album gon' drop. A new dog still going up. Y'all gave me the world cold, this hard off Medicaid. Live my life, don't art, don't get involved. Don't ask me when the album gon' drop.
What's going on, guys? So I just showed you the compressor settings on the 1176 plugin. I wanted to show that to you because I've had a few people ask me about vocals and how to get them sitting up front. So one thing that I like to do, obviously there's many ways that you can go about it, as far as like, raising the fader. EQ moves will help bring it out, trying to find like areas in the presence range, like anywhere from like 1.5 to like 4 or 5K, boosting that even higher, actually bringing that out to bring some, to get the vocal more up front. One thing that I really like to do is on your compressor, set it to the fastest release. So on pop, hip hop vocals, where you want that really upfront present vocal, mess around with your compressor and you'll find, like, put the release slow and then stop, play back again, and have the release all the way fast, and you'll see a noticeable difference as far as the vocals sitting further back in the mix whenever the compressor is holding on longer, versus when you have a really fast release and the compressor's getting out of the way, the vocal comes out more. So definitely try that out if that's something that you're having issues with. That's one of my favorite ways to bring the vocal out front, for sure. Oh, and also I wanted to talk to you about this, something I've been thinking about. Let me set up the lights real quick and I'll tell you.
One day you'll see. One day you'll see. One day.
And just to discuss a little bit about, tutorials like how to EQ a vocal. I know I've put out, tutorials like this. I want to, how can I put this? Whenever I first started mixing, I would get on YouTube and spend hours upon hours figuring out what's the correct way to EQ a vocal. What's the correct way to compress a vocal? What's the correct way to mix a kick drum? What's the correct way to mix a snare? I'd spend so much time doing that. If my present day self could tell, 3 years ago Jordan Criddle something, it would be to spend, you want to spend that time on YouTube figuring out how to do certain things, but you also want to spend a lot of time finding out what you like, because there's really no correct way to do something like EQ a vocal, because it all depends on what sounds good to you. And as a young engineer, you don't really know. You're just you're so caught up in the technical side of things that you're not even really thinking about what actually sounds good to you. Okay, so if I told you, okay, on every vocal, cut 6 dB out of 300, that's not, you have no reason why I'm saying that. And does that sound good for your particular record? Why would you do that? You have to have a certain understanding of the sound that you're going for and what is appealing to you. So that's something that took a while for me to get. And, over time I realized, okay, what albums, like, what are some of my favorite albums sonically, and why do I like them? What is it about these particular records that I love so much and that I would love to take my mixes to this? So for me personally, I'm a big fan of Jimmy Douglas mixes, like Justin Timberlake songs. I like old Kanye mixes, and the reason why I like those mixes so much is because, one, they're not overly bright, and they are very, very dry. So I'm not a big fan of like big, washed out reverbs and whatnot. And to be honest with you, like I have a hard time even being happy with my mixes when I'm using a lot of reverb. I feel like everything starts to get kind of just washed out and like muddy sounding and stuff like that. So, that's the area that I still need to grow in. But, I became a better mixer when I realized, what do I like? What is the sound that I like? Obviously, each record is going to be kind of different, but what are the characteristics that when you hear a song that I mix, you're like, okay, that sounds like mixed by Jordan. The way I may EQ a vocal is totally different to the sound of, a different engineer. Is either of us right or wrong? No. You have to do what sounds good to you. You have to have like an idea of where you want to take a record. You have to have an idea of, obviously you collab with the artist on that, but when the artist is hiring you for a mix, they should know why. So what's your sound? What is it that you like? When you hear particular records, what stands out to you? So instead of asking what's the right way to do something, like what's the right way to compress a vocal, follow that up with, I'm trying to get this particular sound. So what EQ moves or compressor moves will help me get this particular sound, versus just a general statement like what's the right way. So I'm going to try and do a better job on my channel of putting out, whenever I do tutorials, to put out tutorials that help pinpoint the correct way to achieve a particular goal, versus just what's the correct way to mix a kick, because there is no correct way.
If it's red, what that mean?
Oh no. Oh, you got at Gmail too. It's just booking at mixedbyjordan.com.
Oh, see, I said at Gmail. You say yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Cause what I'm doing today, I got one song I'm doing,
and
I want to do like the have a radio edit version done for that.
For
That's
the one
Life.
you're doing. Oh, for That's Life, bet.
And I wanna submit what's the name, Glow Up too. So I probably, cause it say you can do 3 tracks, you know what I mean. So I want to do a radio edit for Glow Up too. I'll probably just send those 2 though.
Bet.
All she wanna do is hit the pole and just shake it till I'm dizzy. Full of that money, might just throw up. Now I got it rockin', everybody wanna show up. Smoking that, rollin' that Yoda. Shaped like a Coke bottle, pop like soda. Love KC, but she from the Magnolia. Girl, don't bug me, catch it with your hand. You might just glow up. Glow up, glow up, glow up, glow up. Come with me, you might just glow up.